the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley. And you can take us with you wherever you go.
Right.
Because we are on the Spreaker radio network.
Yes.
It's really simple. Go to AVNewsCast.com. You'll see a little logo. Click on that. There's also a Spreaker app in the iPhone store.
Yep.
And also one at the Android marketplace. And Angelina's playing with the headphones. What are you doing to me?
I'm good.
Well,
Yeah.
you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm smooth.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully we'll have a couple of guests on.
Yes.
I know in a couple of minutes we'll bring Suzette Martinez on, who's running for a seat at the 36th Assembly District.
Right.
And we'll bring her on. I think maybe at 8:35 we may have Kermit Franklin, and that's a maybe only because I'm just not sure.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. I'd like to have him on the show.
Will we call him, right? Or is he calling
Yeah,
us?
that doesn't mean anything. What?
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of... Okay. We'll call
but
him.
we'll try.
Yeah. We'll call him again.
Did you happen to see the front page of today's AV Press? I know a lot of people don't get the paper.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk to the smear campaign stuff, okay? I'm not happy about it.
No,
okay?
who is?
And it doesn't make any difference, you know. Look,
It doesn't make a difference if they're attacking the candidate that you're not backing or not.
Exactly.
It really doesn't. And you know what? I the part that I really hate is that you can't identify where it's coming from. And that part really, because that's who tells you, that's what's telling you who not to vote for.
Right.
Whoever pushes this kind of garbage out all the time.
You know, somebody said, though, hey, this is politics.
But that's not, that shouldn't be politics.
I understand. And I don't agree with it.
It's
okay?
disgusting.
But, you know, if people say, hey, it's politics, and it gets bad. Okay? And this is what happens.
But it's not that that's what happens. They're lying. It's a lie. It would be different, you know, it'd be different if it was a Tanaka news blast. That's not a lie. We know that he's got issues. He's got a sketchy past, and, you know, I don't know why someone would vote for him. But we already know what the deal is with him. But when you lie about somebody, to say that he has no, you know, place and has nothing in his heart for vets, I mean, come on, why would you say that?
Look what happened to Jonathan Irvin.
A perfect example.
Okay. And
there's no slander or libel recourse?
There is, but who has the money to pay for it? And besides that, you've already lost the race by then.
Yeah, and, you know, unfortunately, when it comes to politics...
it's dirty. It's dirty.
It is.
And we need to know who lets that stuff out so we can know, okay, I'm not re-electing your butt as mayor. I'm not re-electing your butt as whatever. I mean, we need to know.
I agree.
Because it's a character flaw.
It is. It's wrong, and you know, hopefully people are smart enough to
They're
get past
not.
that.
That's the problem.
It is the problem, and I want to talk to that for a second because, you know, perfect example in the Lancaster City Council race, Jonathan Irvin won at the precincts, okay? The mail-in ballots killed him.
Right.
Okay? Absolutely killed him. So, you know, I don't know. And then another thing in the paper, you know, which I get that the Antelope Valley Press endorsed candidate J.D. Kennedy.
Right.
Okay, and you know, and that's a good thing for him. I get all that.
And they have every right to endorse who they want.
I know. Obviously, today's article, you know, talking about the Tea Party, I mean, and yeah, whoops.
Freudian slip.
I guess so. Maybe, you know, and that group of whatever, and pulling their endorsement from, you know, from Tom Lackey. And it's not, you know, it's interesting because it's not what you say, it's the way you say it, okay?
You know what? I must have missed that comment. What did they say? It
was just talking about just what I just said, and we talked about it yesterday on the show.
Well, can we talk about that a little bit? I mean, I don't think it's a great thing for JD. Kudos to him to have any endorsement. I think that that's great. But I just think that as a group, you know, the Tea Party should know what they're talking about. Should do the background before they endorse in the first place. So to endorse and then I'm pulling it and I'm going to give it to. I mean, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't give much merit to the the endorsement anymore.
Well,
you say the wrong thing, I'm gonna pull it, give it to the next guy. It's like, what is that?
I get it. I understand. And everybody's, if you look at the endorsements, okay, for every candidate, okay, not just the Tea Party, but start looking at things and look at who's endorsing who from city councils in Lancaster and in Palm. Look at who's endorsing all the candidates and what's, Tom Lackey got the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. That's huge, okay? That's really huge. That's a huge endorsement, and I can go on, but,
But is that really huge? I mean, what does that really mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's one I pay attention to.
Okay. Absolutely.
Do people really pay attention to that?
I think people pay attention to a lot of things. Yeah, certain endorsements mean a lot. There's no question about it.
I think you're right. And then some people pay attention to certain things because they think it's important. And, because they don't do the homework to find out what the background is. And
I'm hoping that, and we talk about all this stuff, I'm hoping people vote. Okay?
Yeah.
Just get out and vote. All right? And get out and do that. We'll have to wait and see. I think the mail-in ballots are going to play a pivotal role in this election. I just have a feeling.
They tend to.
And, if you think it's getting ugly now, wait until after the primary, leading into the general.
Yeah, because the gloves are off.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's going to get nasty. I think it's the gloves are going to be off, but everything's going to be factual, and it's going to be.
I hope so.
It's going to be a whole different deal.
But see, the other thing that just bothers me is not only does the smear campaigning bother me, but I know of cases where candidates knew where it came from and didn't blast them. Knew that the smear came from a different camp and didn't blast them. And you're not servicing me by not saying this is where it came from. You're not servicing me because I need to know the character of the people that are campaigning. I need to know.
Okay, and you want to know whether they'll go for the jugular vein.
I don't want to know about the jugular because if it's the truth, it's the truth. But when you're throwing out lies, I want to know that you threw out a lie.
Sometimes it's better not to engage and just let it go by, okay, than to engage and make it into a longer lasting, bigger thing because,
I'm just saying tell the truth.
In the age of where we live with digital and everything else, everything now is the 24-hour news story. Okay, and sometimes it's better to just let it go than anything else. We should probably try to get Suzette on the line if you want to.
All righty.
Maybe later on in the show, we will actually have Michael Stein in studio.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and so we'll have to see how that works out too. All right. I like it when we do the
apparently it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it saved me, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
saved
did.
us.
Steve Ballmer buying the Clippers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Moving them to Seattle.
Talk about free Wi-Fi when you go to a game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Microsoft Center.
You have reached the voicemail box.
Okay, just want to hear the name.
1-855.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
Golly.
You can't put your hand all in the way. If I'm
She's out of control. Okay.
No, you know what? Listen. I thought it was going to say mailbox of Suzette Martinez so that we could have it on record that we called the right number. Once I heard the number, I was going to hang up. But that's what I was intending. Yeah, no, he's out of control.
Only because the other day we were trying to bring candidate on, and candidate didn't answer his phone.
Right, just like this one.
And I got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
So, and then I got accused of never calling and that I wasn't telling the truth.
Yeah.
Well, you showed the call log.
So, yeah. I could have put it up there. It was 29 seconds.
Yeah.
Is how long I went. So, I don't know. So, what do you think about Steve Ballmer
buying the Clippers?
Yeah.
I wanted Magic to get it. But, I mean, listen, I think it's kind of bittersweet because he is a racist son of a sucker. And because of him being a racist, he just came up $2 billion strong.
Yeah.
Donald Sterling.
He's getting paid.
Yeah, and then you heard about yesterday, that he was found to be legally, mentally incompetent.
Oh.
Was he really?
Yes, it's a true story.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was actually ruled legally, medically incompetent.
Mentally. Or medically?
Mentally.
Okay.
And which played a very big role in him having to sign over the Clippers to his wife.
I think it was all a great strategic, bad cop, good cop move between the two of them. I really do. I don't think that he's as dingbat as we all think he is.
We've heard him talk. He's pretty dingbat.
No, but he's still.
But now he can say, "Well, you can't make me get rid of it because I don't own it anymore."
Right.
Well, yeah. What a
so who's supposed to be in charge of his affairs now if he's mentally incompetent?
I don't know, but he signed
his wife?
Everything.
I think that's golden because you cheat on your wife. You come out publicly. It doesn't matter if she knew. It doesn't matter that she knew. He disrespected the sanctity of their marriage. If you didn't want her, then divorce her. But you're married to her. You have a girlfriend that you say is not your girlfriend, which everybody knows that's your girlfriend. And she's got to see this whole public thing, regardless to whether or not she's still in love with him or not. She's, living her life. Obviously, she's not, slumming it. But now the tide has completely changed. And she's the wife, because they're married, and she needs to be in control of his affairs. And what happens with him. So, good.
Yeah, it's cut his allowance off.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking yesterday about Steve Ballmer being, now they've got to look at his past. Has he ever said anything that maybe...
They're not going to look that deep.
Well, here's the thing. He tried to buy, last year, the Sacramento Kings. And they vetted him completely. Okay, looking for, is there anything in his past that's going to be a problem? So he's already been vetted, and he was already cleared by the NBA. So it should be great. And this is a deal that's going to close in a matter of days.
Well, how he's not looking at the same things that the NBA would look at, though?
I don't know. I don't know. But
I just think those long $2 billion is talking, and they're just like waiting for their next, meeting with the governing body. And
doesn't the governing body have a say in whether or not that happens? They
vote it,
or whether it gets moved?
Yeah, but the team he was buying in Sacramento, that was hockey.
That was.
What do you mean?
You said the Kings, didn't you?
Sacramento.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got me all derailed.
Yeah, okay. I did.
You did. Do you want to see if we can try Suzette one more time?
Oh, you want to?
Yeah,
we didn't do that before. We didn't do that with Kermit.
Let's try it one more time.
No, today we're trying again with Kermit. So this is his other chance.
All right.
We'll give it one more.
So is your graphics design guy going crazy over the Kings? Speaking of Kings?
Oh, I haven't spoken to him about that. I didn't talk to him about that. I was listening about the Clippers really aren't worth $2 billion. And
no.
They don't own a stadium.
No.
Okay? But it's the television rights, the live TV. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good buy.
When Magic and Company paid...
you have reached the voicemail box.
Okay.
When Magic and Company paid so much money for the Dodgers, and it was way too much money, and they didn't even get the parking lots, okay, because that was retained by McCord. They knew what they were doing, because as soon as they closed that deal and paid $2.3 billion, they closed the deal on the TV rights for $8 billion. Okay? So that's, they're already in the profit.
They are.
Okay?
Right.
Now, if McCord decides to bring an NFL team to L.A., he can use the parking lots and build a stadium. Or build condos. Or whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different thing. It's going to be very interesting what's going to happen. I think you're going to see a huge rollout of a grass. You're going to see a lot of signs popping up all over the Antelope Valley in the next days, minutes, hours.
Oh, yeah.
With the election just right around the corner on Tuesday.
Yeah, I would think so.
You'll see a lot. And then you'll also notice that you don't see a lot of signs. I mean, this is a campaign. Some candidates have a lot of money.
Well,
some candidates
they grab them and go to another place.
Some candidates
go back and pick them up and move them,
rotate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, candidates didn't have money to put ballot statements in all the areas where they're running because it costs money.
Yeah.
Okay, and you got to say, hey, some candidates didn't have any money to do direct mail. Some only had enough money to make 5 signs.
That's tremendous.
I mean, it's.
I don't understand why it costs to do the ballot statements because they're already going out anyway.
Well, it costs money. You pay to have a ballot statement, okay, included in the ballot.
See, that's part of
and then you also pay.
Part of what factors into the super elite can.
Yeah, and that's not right. That should be a covered cost.
Yeah,
because you want the community to know the options. So the covered cost should include you providing a statement that we're going to print and put in here, and that should be a nonpartisan, just for the people type, added information. It shouldn't be something they have to pay for.
Well,
that's why we end up with who we end up with, because it's all about the money.
But it also is why we don't end up, okay?
With what?
Well, wait a minute, okay? Yeah.
Riff-raff, is that what you're saying?
No. It also is, look, like we've talked about Palmdale going to districting, right? And, all of a sudden, everybody's going to say, hey, I'm running, I'm going to be the president of
No. We could easily switch that up and make it something that, here's the qualifications. What job do you go to without qualifications? You could be a politician for your life and not have qualifications. So if we set up some type of, either you have, a bachelor's degree in, community affairs, or you have X amount of years dealing with the community, something, we could easily come up with something that says, if you have this type of background, you're qualified, and now you can, go into a board, maybe a board of community members that can assess whether or not they believe that you're qualified to run, and then there's a pot that everybody gets to pull from.
But you'd get mad then because they'll have Steve back there counting the ballots.
Oh, of course.
Oh, come on.
It'll be about who you know. Yeah, it'll be about who you know. Who's doing the count? Oh, well, we've got a group of people. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jeff.
It's too bad I'm not counting. Oh, talking about ballots. That one board member for the Palmdale School Board resigned about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And today, and I don't know if the public knows about this, but today they're interviewing a number of candidates.
Yep.
Okay, and that's going on today. It's at the Palmdale School District in the boardroom. They're interviewing candidates today. It is open to the public.
Yeah.
I doubt a lot of the public knows, but
no.
They're interviewing a number of candidates, and they're going to make a decision, okay, based on these 30-minute interviews, who they're going to select, okay? Now, one candidate last year spent a boatload of money chasing that campaign, okay? Mm-hmm. And that was a good example of, money, all the money in the world isn't going to do anything.
Right.
Okay?
Right. But it also is a great testament on the fact that his head was really in it, because now he's going out for the job. He really, really wants in that. He really thinks that he can make a difference, and he really wants to be a part of the school district. So I think that it's, you know what, let me tell you this. If those people that lost are not lined up for the job interview,
I agree.
You're telling your story right there.
Yeah.
So everybody that's lined up for that job interview should be the people that lost. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, they weren't really in it.
Well, I'll tell you who is in that interview today.
Well, I thought you weren't saying. Otherwise,
I'm going to
say,
too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jeff Moffitt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it tells a story. His money was where his mouth was. He really wanted in. He really wanted to make a difference. He was really committed on it, and he didn't stop.
Right. Stacey Fournier, who also sits on the Oversight Committee board with me for the Palmdale School District, she also has an interview there. She ran for a seat as well. Mm-hmm. And
well, what about the rest of them?
Well, there's a number of people that are running.
That ran?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you can speak. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
He's got to watch everything that I do. This guy is a mess.
I'm not,
Hi, Suzette.
Hi.
What happened to you this morning, madam?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
That's okay. That's okay. Are you out campaigning?
We were going to be sign waving this morning, but we came back for the phone call that didn't come.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You should have seen our faces. It was like, are you kidding me? Again?
Another person says I never tried to call.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, it's great to have you on the air. We've got the election just right around the corner, Suzette. I don't know if you had a chance to see the paper. This campaign is changing every day.
There's been a what?
The campaign's changing every day.
Oh, yeah. You know, and it'll probably change tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I've been paying very close attention to just the voter turnout as it is. And with as many absentee voters as we have, only 9,700 have voted. So the name of our game is turning out the vote. And, you know, we've made voter contact with at least 8,000 voters one-on-one. So I think that, you know, whoever's doing that is going to lead to victory.
Are you out walking?
Martinez.
Are you out walking precincts?
Yeah, we've been walking for about a month and a half now. And then we have a huge walk going on tomorrow. So anyone who wants to come down to our headquarters on 6th Street, please feel free to. We'll have probably about between 35 to 50 walkers tomorrow. So it should be a pretty good weekend. We're walking Saturday through Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Suzette, let me ask you a question, okay? We've got 3 Republicans, you being one of them, and 2 Democrats. On the Republican end, what makes you different than the other 2 candidates?
Well, I'm definitely the most fiscally conservative candidate on the ticket. Reality is I know that some of my opponents have some campaign issues as well as some pension issues. So when it comes down to the true fiscal conservative, I'm definitely that fiscal conservative. But I think I'm definitely also the candidate that understands education, and it's linked to jobs, and it's linked to business. And the reality is that, you know, our education system has failed our students. And if we want to succeed as a community, as a state, we need to fix our education system and make sure every child has access to a quality education, which leads to jobs, which leads to new business, which leads to attracting business. And I think that I'm the person that offers bold ideas on how to reform education and how to make our education system a 21st century education system.
Okay, now what do you say to the people that are listening to you right now, and they agree with you, and I actually agree with you that education is really important because that is going to turn things around. But that's not an immediate fix, and there are people out there that are saying, hey, the biggest thing I want to see right now is I need business, I need a job.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, you know, again, there's a link, right? Yes, we need to bring businesses to California, but we can't just use one strategy to do that. We can't just say we can only do tax incentives. We can only do a moratorium on regulation. We have to have a full package, right? Because when you have that full package of education, of lower taxes, of getting rid of strenuous regulations, when you have that bundle, that's what creates a real foundation for real job growth, especially here in our community. You can't believe this rhetoric. You need a solid plan with all of those things.
And you have your plan already outlined out?
Yeah, a lot of it. If you go to my website, and if for any of you that have seen me out there walking, some of my literature pieces, go through some of my business plans, some of my education plans, and all of those things will be a top priority for me when I get to the legislature.
Now, let me ask you this. If, say you win and you're in Sacramento, how do you intend on crossing party lines and dealing with Dems and Republicans? Yeah. Or do you plan to deal with that?
Well, Angelina, I will never compromise my values and my convictions.
Okay.
Because that's all I really have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm elected, I know that I'm elected for those values and those convictions. But for the past 2.5 years, I've been working for a nonprofit where I'm in Sacramento, I'm in Washington, D.C., working with Democrats, working with Republicans, working with the climate states or independents. I think that I've been doing that for the past 2.5 years, which has really prepared me for Sacramento to sit down at a table and hash out ideas and hash out solutions that don't always toe the party line.
Right.
So I think I would take my experience and what I do now advocating for education with my nonprofit, and that's going to translate to how I get things done in Sacramento.
Okay. Now, we were talking to Steve Fox the other day, and it just dawned on me. He's a lawyer. Just everything fits with him being in Sacramento because of his law background, his education background, his history on the hospital board, and so on. So I'm wondering, what do you see in your past as far as your qualifications that you believe makes you a good fit for the job in Sacramento?
Well, I think that, again, my understanding of the education system as it stands now is, and what I've been doing with education for the past 2 years, is a perfect fit for me in education. I've spent the past 2.5 years working as a board member with the SUV Latino Chamber of Commerce.
Uh-huh.
Latinos are one of the largest growing small business owners in the state, and they have been for the last 6 or 7 years. So I have that base of working with small businesses and understanding their needs. My dad was a small business owner. I've been a part of this community. I've been a part of California. I think I understand the needs of our community, and that's what qualifies me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate those answers.
Hey, Suzette.
We all have different qualifications, and we all have different assets, and that's the reality. We just, as voters, we need to look at the ideas that best fit how we think our community and our state should be ran.
Mm-hmm.
Suzette, how much of a role do you think financing a campaign plays in getting elected? Meaning, you think you can run a grassroots campaign and go all the way to Sacramento?
You went all the way to Washington?
And I'm not referring to you. I'm just referring to campaign, because I've seen it in other elections. Pardon me?
No, I'm just. Okay, go ahead.
Campaigns are like snowflakes. No two are the same. And sometimes, you never know what voter turnout is going to be. You never know what's going to be dropped in the paper one day from the next. So, some grassroots campaigns, have one. It isn't always about money, otherwise Meg wouldn't want to be governor. You never know. And all you can do as a candidate is resonate with voters and get them to turn out to the polls for you.
That's the truth, and speak from your heart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't. This isn't a business for the faint of heart, but I definitely think that you have to be yourself, and you have to share your ideas, which is very important, because you can't fake that. You got to be on your toes. You got to represent the people.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, Steve will say all the time that I just bleed Dem. And I get that, because the principles I understand a little bit, they solidify. I don't know, it's just part of my foundation. And I'm just the type of person that wants to always do something to benefit every single man. Not that, I mean, I guess I am saying that the Republicans don't want to do that. But regardless. But I will say that, I'm kind of at the point where I'm tired of the political parties, because if I listen to a candidate speak and I believe what you're saying, like you're speaking to me right now, Suzette. But my issue is, she's still a Republican. She could be speaking to me, but when she gets back there in that room with the other people, they'll come down and, cover over her, and then all of what Suzette spoke about will be gone, because here's the agenda that the Republicans wants to push, and this is what you got to toe the line for. And that's the part that just doesn't sit well with me, that you have to pay back.
Yeah. Well, Angelina, I'll tell you this. Yes, I am a Republican. But the ideas that I talk to you about, the values that I am, for me, I'm a Christian first. I'm an American, and my values and my convictions are my values and my convictions. And I won't change my values and my convictions for a party, for a person, for anyone, because this is who I am. If I don't remain and keep those values and convictions, I'm not myself, and I lose everything that I've ever worked for. So you can look at, I understand your perception of the Republican Party is negative. I get it. But for me, the values of the Republican Party best define who I am. But look at my being, Angelina. Look at who I am. Look at what I talk about. Those are my convictions. So if those convictions are more important to you than the name Republican, then you should vote for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well put, Suzette.
Very well put.
Yeah, nice job, Suzette. Thanks for taking the time. I wish we could have gotten you on the show earlier at the top of the hour, but I've got to go to break. But I'll tell you what, though. Tuesday morning, Election Day, about 8:15. Can I bring you on?
Of course.
Okay.
You got to answer your phone, Suzette.
I know, right? Actually, maybe I'll call you, and I'll just be on hold.
Okay. You got a deal. Okay. Have a good weekend.
Right.
I wish you the best. We'll talk on Tuesday.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, we got to take a break, and we've got Michael Stein in studio.
Yeah.
Hi. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. To me, to me, politicians are like snowflakes. I don't trust them. They're like cold and rigid, and flaccid. So I have a hard time. Republican, Democrat. So it's great that you like to talk about politics on the show.
And I'll tell some of the listeners a funny story. Congressman Buck McKeon came over to Abadak a couple years ago and toured the place.
Yeah.
And took a bunch of pictures, and it was a photo op thing and the whole thing, and he said, okay, so who's the guy behind all this? Where is this guy? So this is Michael. He said, where is he? I see he's in Texas. He said, can I have a number so I can reach him? So I reached out to Michael. I said, hey, we got a congressman here from Washington, D.C. Wants your cell number. Don't give it to him.
Did I say that?
Yep. Don't give it to him. Well, he wants to talk to you, so what?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'll talk to him now.
Yeah. He's leaving office now.
Oh, what did he do?
Right! That's so funny.
Because there's only two things that make a politician leave the office. That's old age or something went wrong.
Not even old age gets him out.
He had been there for 20-some years.
Okay. Well,
so he was already in.
He's done.
Hey, Jeff, can we take a break?
Yes.
All right, let's take a quick break. You're listening to AVNewsCast, and we'll be right back.
Chronic Beats.
We need to end the bickering, the partisan politics, and the gridlock in Washington.
Lee Rogers is a doctor who solves real problems for a living. Lee Rogers will put Washington to work for middle-class families by closing tax loopholes for Wall Street banks, rebuild our infrastructure, and protect Medicare and Social Security. Lee Rogers, doing what's right for our families.
I'm Lee Rogers, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Lee Rogers for Congress.
Hi, I'm J.D. Kennedy, a Marine Corps veteran with 3 deployments to Iraq, and I'm running for State Assembly. I served as Congressman McKeon's Veteran Affairs Representative, and I'm a member of Operation All the Way Home, board member of the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm the president of LA County Air Show. As your Assemblyman, I'll fight to create jobs in our community and keep criminals off our streets. Our problems can be fixed with simple, common-sense answers, but we need new leadership in Sacramento. My name is J.D. Kennedy. I fought for you 3 times in Iraq. Vote for me on June 3rd. Send me to Sacramento. I'll fight for you there. Visit my website, kennedyforassembly.com, and follow me on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced conservative candidate for the State Assembly in the Tuesday, June 3rd election. As a retired Highway Patrol Sergeant and Antelope Valley resident since 1996, I served as a school board and city council member for 14 years. As your Assembly representative, I'll stand up for our shared values. The record shows I work to solve problems, not create them. With your help on June 3rd, we can break the far-left supermajority in Sacramento and stop the bleeding of our jobs. I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced candidate.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WASP accredited, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds the state of California standards. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure to information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School has a winning CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, cross-country, volleyball, swimming, cheerleading, and more. An open enrollment, free tuition school, publicly funded. They've been in business for 12 years and are fully approved by Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small classroom environment, 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 students in grades 4 through 8, and no more than 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Antelope Valley residents, this is Assistant Sheriff James Helmold seeking your vote for sheriff. As a 25-year veteran of the department, I'm not a politician. I'm a crime fighter committed to keeping our neighborhoods safe. I will ensure your sheriff's department is responsive to the Antelope Valley, not a one-size-fits-all approach from downtown Los Angeles. Let's also expand community involvement and youth outreach to ensure future success. I'm proud to be endorsed by both mayors and councils, local churches, and community groups. This is your sheriff's department. Please vote James Helmold for sheriff.
This is Palmdale Mayor Jim Ledford, and we have a great opportunity on June 3rd. We will be electing a new congressman for our valley. I served on the Palmdale City Council with Steve Knight, as well as serving with his father, Pete Knight, and I appreciate their service and belief in our community. Steve is a veteran of the U.S. Army, as well as an 18-year veteran of the LAPD, and I have the highest respect for our vet and law enforcement community. Steve has led by action over his tenure in Sacramento, and no one has authored more legislation for our veterans. As the son of a career Marine, I'm thankful for Steve's commitment to our veterans. Please join Mayor Pro Tem Tom Lackey and I in supporting Steve Knight for Congress.
Chronic Beats.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get Mr. Kermit on the line.
We tried the other day. Hopefully we'll be more successful today.
Right.
Pretty close to the edge there, anyway.
Relax.
Hello?
Just breathe through it.
Kermit?
Yes.
Hi there.
You're live on News Talk Radio, and thanks for coming on the show today.
Absolutely. You sound a little bubbled, but I can hear you.
Okay. Is the connection okay? Or should we try a landline?
That will probably be better. I can hear it, but it's really, really loud.
Okay, what's the landline that you want me to call it back on?
Look at this.
Just, you know, a little crack shop production going on over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to explain the show to you here while she's on the phone. This is a wonderful Bud Friedman's Night at the Improv decoration. If you ever get in the studio, you can see a lovely decoration out there. And over to our left, we have one fern instead of two. So it's not like in between two ferns. It's kind of like they can only afford for one fern. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. AVNewsCast.com.
She's got it going. Now, are we going to try to get him on another line?
We're good.
We are good?
Kermit, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So how's the campaign going?
Well, it's going well. I was very happy to hear from Sacramento Bee yesterday that there's not a county in the state of California that has a majority registered voter as it relates to majority registered voter for Republicans. So that was very, encouraging as well. So that just means that Democrats need to get out and vote.
Right. Well, typically, there's more Democrats typically that vote than Republicans.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Kermit, I when you were here at our candidate forum, I had said to you, a lot of the things that you say talk to a lot of people, and people listen to it. And I made a comment that it's difficult. It's very difficult to run an underfunded campaign. However, I'm starting to see your signs out there. I don't know what else you're doing or whether you're doing direct mail, but have you got enough muscle behind your campaign to reach all the voters to let them know who and what you're about?
Absolutely. I've sent out over 5,000 robocalls alone to the POV voters in Palmdale alone. I've done the same thing with regards to Lancaster as well. But, of course, the voters, these voters are Democrats, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then secondly, also, I'll put a number of signs up. Of course, a lot of my signs, which you probably don't know, have been taken down. By who, I don't know.
I've seen that. I'll tell you something. Down on Avenue S from 20th East all the way up to 40th East, there's a long, encroachment area of grass, okay? And there's got to be 150 signs there. And 2 days later, they're all gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see them anywhere.
And then they come back 3 days later, they go and put more. And I've seen them putting the signs in. It's incredible. But I've heard from other candidates, and I have seen other candidate signs that were in high visibility areas, and they're gone, and they were replaced overnight with somebody else's sign.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But that happens all the time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does happen all the time. It's just shameful. You go out and you pay the money for it. I mean, especially if you're paying like $300 a sign, if it's a pretty large sign, and someone takes it down. And that's why, in doing so, people take them down. People need to know it is a felony.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's a big deal.
Kermit, look, there's you and our current Assemblyman, Steve Fox, on the Democratic ticket, and then there's 3 Republicans. Not splitting the ticket, because not splitting and going partisan, but just talking about 5 people running. What makes you different than the other 4?
What makes me different from the other 4 is that I'm the only one, and this obviously includes Steve, that has written legislation. When the member comes in office, he or she doesn't write legislation. What he or she does is has his staff write legislation for him. So that said, and no one there has ever specifically written legislation or have formed relationships with committees. So what occurs in the member's office is that the staff forms a relationship with committees, forms a relationship with the governor's office, forms a relationship with the other members that are there, and that's how they get their bills through.
Well,
not necessarily.
But Kermit, that's like saying the Supreme Court judge didn't write his own opinion. I mean, he dictates the opinion. He's got a clerk that goes ahead and types it up.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
They do the muscle. They push the work, and they get the things done and form the relationships. They write the letters to the governor's office. They talk to the committee members, and they talk to the committee members as it relates to the fact of whether the bill is going to go through or not. I mean, no member goes to a committee not knowing whether his or her bill is going to be passed there. They know ahead of time.
Yeah, but you know what? Normally, I don't talk to things like this, and I'll go on to something else. But here's the thing. Yeah, but basically what you're saying is you're trying to say that you have more experience. How long were you working up in the Assembly?
9 months.
Okay, so you want to tell me that you have more experience in 9 months than our current sitting Assemblyman that's been there now for 2 years? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that I'm not going to let go.
Well, if you ask the current Assemblyman if he's ever written bills, the answer would be no. The honest answer would be no. He has a staff who write the bills. He might come up with the idea, or the idea might be brought to him by a lobbyist or by a friend or by someone, and then he'll have his staff to do the heavy work.
Well, okay. President Obama's got a staff of 175 people, okay? So you want to say that it's the 175 people he's got that are doing it, and he's got nothing to do with it, and they have more experience than he does?
Yeah, I mean, I just
you
think
can't talk to that.
Have anything to do with it.
Yeah,
my point is he oversees it after the fact. But my point is he doesn't do the heavy work. He doesn't do the lifting. He doesn't write the bill. They do not write the bill. They come up with the idea. The idea is sent to Legislative Council. Legislative Council brings it back to them in a form. The staff reviews it. And then the staff.
So what you're saying is, if you're elected, you're going to be the only one that writes all your bills. You will not have staff helping you to do that.
Okay. I'm not saying I will. I'm simply saying
that's where you.
The question was, well, what difference do I have over the other 4? Okay. That is the difference.
And what else is your qualifications? Because we do know that Steve Fox is an attorney. He's got the educational background, the school board background, the hospital board background. He's in there. He's doing a great job. What else do you think is in your background by means of qualifications that
I have an educational background. background too. I mean, I have an undergrad from Pepperdine University. I have a master's in organizational behavior. I have a certificate from Cornell University. I also have a PhD in philosophy of health. Secondly, I worked on his campaign, helped him to be successful. So that has to say something. Also, I'm also a Los Angeles County Central Committee delegate. I was a congressional delegate as well for the 25th Congressional District for President Obama. And then also, I'm also a member of the State Democratic Caucus, or for veterans, rather.
And how do you feel that you'll be able to work party lines if elected? If you make it up to Sacramento, how do you think you'll be able to work party lines?
Well, I can work party lines if I want to. You're talking about with the other GOP members, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I can work party lines if I want to, but I don't have to. Remember that. Remember, we have a majority, not just a majority, but a majority.
Yeah, but you still will be. I get that.
It doesn't matter. That's why the member in office now votes the way he votes. I think it's because he knows the majority of the other people, other Dems, are going to carry the bill anyway.
I do understand that.
I'm not saying I won't. I'm simply saying I don't have to if I don't want to. That's all I'm saying.
I do understand that, but I just think that I don't appreciate that part of it. And not that my opinion is supposed to weigh a whole lot. But if you're elected, you're still representing Republicans in this area. So I still think that it's important to not be arrogant, whoever is elected, and say, you know what, I'm only going to do what I think is only beneficial to me, and not take into consideration the fact that you're representing a group of people. Not necessarily everybody believes in things the way you do. I just really want somebody in there that's going to take into consideration everybody, and not just, oh, well, if they don't like it, that's just too bad. Because I don't want to get stuck with that.
Well, I understand. Do you think we want to be stuck, this country wants to be stuck with the GOP in Congress, that's a majority of Republicans, that we're stuck with, that don't get anything done?
I don't want to get stuck with Dems and Republicans that are playing that game. I don't like it either way.
But see, Kermit, that's the problem that we have. We've got a House that is Republican. We've got a Senate that's Democratic. Nobody can get along, and at the end of the day, it'd be great if instead of people having a title, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, it was just, let's pick the best candidate, send them there, and go do your stuff.
Yeah, because basically they're there and they have nothing to do, and they get paid.
Look, you know what? That would be great, but you know, and I know that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Because Republicans will be doing the same thing in Sacramento if they had the majority, and you know that as well.
Yes, I do. I just don't like it.
They've done it for the last 35 years.
Absolutely.
I've been crying about it.
I've been crying about, I was crying about it when the Republican had it. I was definitely crying when the Republican had it. Absolutely.
Well, you must have been a lone wolf in the woods, because not many other people were. I mean, many people gave up hope and said, well, if they have it, that's it, and they're not going to help us. I mean, I remember Steve Knight personally saying, since the Dems didn't vote for me, I don't have to talk to them. I can just talk to my Republicans, and that's it.
That's terrible.
So, with that attitude, that's why the other side has the attitude as well. Not that I do. I mean, I've worked with both parties, because there's a lot of good bills, such as veteran bills and other bills, that we all can come to common ground with. Water bills, things of this nature to lower the water rates. Other things that could occur, obviously making sure people are employed, especially in our district, with the high unemployment rate that we have.
Yeah. No,
it's not that I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't want you to get that incorrect. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm simply saying if I didn't have to on some of this stuff, I mean, I don't necessarily have to, but I will. Just because.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it's not that I have a hatred for GOP. That's not the point. The point is that you work with the people that want to work with you, and a lot of the GOP don't necessarily want to work with you on some of the bills that you have. That's the other fact.
Okay, I get that. In our last election in 2012, there were a lot of Republicans that decided to vote Democratic. There are a lot of people, here in the Antelope Valley, jobs is not a partisan issue.
Right. Totally agree with that.
Okay, the economy is not a partisan issue. Yeah, both sides. So there's people here that are hearing you right now saying, "Wow, if he gets into office, he's not even going to care about me."
Well, that's not true, because my campaign, unlike any other one's campaign in this race, is, as I specifically said when I released my my press release was about helping the poor, those that don't have jobs, or those that are underemployed, and those that have not been working for quite some time, and the poor. Whether it be seniors. Yesterday, that's why I went down to Temple City yesterday to fight for the AV, and that crossed party lines. I went down there, as you know, and it was posted on Facebook. I went down there to make sure that they don't increase the utility rates on us specifically here in the Antelope Valley.
And how'd that go yesterday? There's a lot of
people that can't afford that rate.
And how'd that go yesterday?
I'm sorry?
And how did that go yesterday?
Oh, it went well. It went extremely well. So we're waiting on the judge's decision as it relates to that. We also asked that one of the hearings be here at Antelope Valley, so we don't have to travel so far.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be good.
Lee Rogers, yes. Did Lee Rogers travel with you guys?
He didn't travel with us because he had something else that he had to do, but he did, get on the bus and talk to people about, how proud he was of people going down and, and fighting for this, this portion of LA County. Now, out of 20 people that spoke, I believe 19 of them were from the Antelope Valley.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So maybe that voice resonates a little bit.
Yeah, and it crossed party lines. We had Democrats there, Independents there, and we had people from the GOP there. So you're right. Those issues cross party lines. So, and I was there to fight for GOP or anybody else.
Yeah, people have been saying for a long time, we've got Southern California Edison up here. Why is it that our rates are 3 times as high as they are in Palm Springs?
Or 4 times.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Okay.
That really is a great question. I can't totally answer that. I can only say that I know that different utility companies are assigned different sections of different areas. And therefore, whether it be their shareholders or CEOs or whoever, they're the ones that do these increases. Some of them are unjustified, some of them are justified. As you know, a couple of years ago, they had another increase, and they got, more money than they were supposed to have. And that's why their CEO now is paid, $10 million a year? Which is just outlandish.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to talk to what CEOs make because I don't think it's all unfair.
Well, I'm not saying it's all unfair. I don't begrudge, as I said, anyone from making money. It's just the fact that making sure that they pay their fair share. That's all. I mean, it makes a difference on everybody because they use the same roads you do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They use the same water you do.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't they pay their fair share? Why should they get the tax loopholes that you don't get?
Sure enough.
No, I get it.
And that's where I'm coming from with income inequality.
Well, for that matter, why aren't our congressmen and senators getting health care under the Affordable Care Act?
I don't know why you keep saying it like it's a policy. You're just a mess with that.
I'm sorry.
They don't make the income because you make a certain income and then you can qualify for
I don't care. If it's good enough for everybody in America, then they should have it too.
I don't understand what you're saying. You don't even know what you're speaking of half the time.
I'm just telling you, okay?
You just don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm
serious. It's not like it's a building that they go to for welfare recipients or a step up. That's not what it is.
Do you understand what I'm talking to, Kermit?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. And I think, a few people have signed. Like, for instance, I think the Speaker of the House, he did initially sign up for it. He complained about something being too high or something, but they found out that wasn't the case. But I think a few of them have signed up for it. Obviously, they're more than covered, even after they get out of Congress. I mean, they're good to go for the rest of their lives.
No, I know they are.
So, it's just unfair that they get paid $170,000 plus
to argue.
They're going to get they're going to get a COLA as of January 1st, 2015, of $2,800, while they deny the same thing to the American people. And also, as you know, recently this past week, Congress denied our veterans that are immigrants to obtain citizenship in this country.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's shameful. It's really shameful, and this is what I'm talking about.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. People laid their lives on the line or got hurt or injured, right, in combat, and they're denied like citizenship because they're immigrants.
You know, Steve, this is Michael Stein, by the way. Steve, I think after watching Lincoln about 2 nights ago for like the 5th time, because I love that film, I think our forefathers should be really proud to see that we're arguing about the same thing today as we used to argue about 300 years ago.
Right.
Almost.
Well, it's funny when people talk about, our forefathers because, people talk about the Constitution. But look, let's be realistic. Who was the Constitution written by? And who was it written for?
Hello.
It was written by white men for white men that owned property. And property included slaves, it included land, it included women.
I agree. I think the Constitution should be changed. If the Constitution was written by Jews, it would have been more ironclad.
It was only written for them, period.
Yeah.
And so that's why we need to make those amendments.
Yeah.
Especially with regards to gun control and other things.
Exactly.
It was never written for anybody else but them because they owned property, which included women, slaves, and land. That's the only way they were able to vote.
You got to remember, though, a lot of the slaveholders in the South were Democrats.
Okay.
And it was a Republican that stopped slavery.
Yeah.
Now, this is a conversation I'd love to have, but we've only got 2 minutes to go. Okay, so I can't do that.
Sure.
But I'd love to have that conversation.
But, Kermit, I'm sorry we couldn't get you on the show the other day. I want to thank you for coming on the show today. But here's the thing. The election is on Tuesday. I know we want to get all the voters out, but I'd like to give you another voice on the show. If you're available Tuesday on Election Day, can I get you on the show?
If you can tell me the time ahead of time so I can plan it, yes.
I'll tell you what, 8:35 on Tuesday.
Perfect.
Is that all right?
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right, get out on the campaign. Okay, have a great weekend, and we'll get you back on the air on Tuesday.
Thanks, Kermit.
You too.
Thanks,
You guys have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
Let me say something on Kermit's behalf, though, real quick.
Yeah.
Because he got his signs, stolen or taken down. I got to tell you, Palmdale's an outstanding place to stay, and the Palmdale Hotel is not that bad. But I will tell you that I walked outside and I saw 2 smashed, what looked like smashed windows, and cars were gone. And I saw a guy sweeping it up. And I said, that doesn't look so good. I asked him, I said, how often a week do you have to clean up smashed windows? And he said, about twice a week.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
People breaking into cars.
People breaking into cars. Don't leave your stuff in your cars, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
When you want to.
Or if you leave it, just leave your door open.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well keep your window.
That's over at the Palmdale Hotel.
Yeah, it is.
That's terrible.
And poor Kermit, his signs are getting stolen. Everything's being used for everything.
That happens in every election.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know it was a felony to go take a sign.
We won't tell you
yeah.
that you
Really?
did it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody mentioned it before.
I got a whole collection in my garage.
You're funny.
All Democrat. Damn.
Yeah, because he's out of control.
No. Are we about out of time?
Yeah.
We are about out of time. We've only got a minute left to go. Hey, Michael, I'm sorry that this is your first time over here at the studio, over at the high school.
Yeah.
And I know you sat in. You didn't get a chance to talk.
We're talking about my favorite subject, politics.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But you got a crack shot team right here. You got a lot more space, that's for sure. And anybody, I think you guys should really, go on the internet and watch the show because the set design, I was saying, is amazing. Looks like Night at the Improv behind them.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
And if you ever seen a show with 2 ferns, now they can only afford 1 fern because the budget's low. So it's they were going to change the show to next to a fern, but it's only one fern. They're going to, if you guys call in and support the show, they can afford another fern, and then they can compete with the competition.
That fern travels from location to location.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it does really well. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show today and making us the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley. I do want to mention, on our way out, I was talking with people from High Desert Broadcasting yesterday.
Oh, really?
Just to let you know.
Really?
And I'm going to say this on the air.
Yeah, please.
And they definitely said, I want to let you know that in the history of us being in the Antelope Valley, the AVNewsCast radio show was the best news talk program we've ever had and probably we will ever have.
Probably.
Okay? So that was pretty nice. Okay?
Yeah.
And that was...
They shouldn't let people control them then.
That was coming from above the local people. Okay? So that was really nice. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday.
Bring on those bigger sponsors. Bring on those bigger sponsors.
Chronic Beats. I've been secretary for half a century. It's not as exciting as my last job.
Orange County Fire Rescue.
6600 Sea Harbor Drive, SeaWorld Stadium.
Okay.
We actually have a trainer in the water with one of our whales, the whale that they're not supposed to be in the water with.
Okay. We'll get somebody en route.
Okay, and through gate number 3 to Shamu Stadium.
Gate 3. Orange County Sheriff's Office.
We need SO to respond for a dead person at SeaWorld. A whale has eaten one of the trainers.
A whale ate one of the trainers?
That's correct.
You believe.
My parents first brought me to a SeaWorld park when I was very young. From that point forward, I was hooked. It meant everything to me because, I'd never wanted anything more.
I remember, being probably in first or second grade, watching National Geographic specials or Mutual of Omaha specials and seeing whales and seeing dolphins. And, as a little kid, just being really incredibly inspired by it. I never went to SeaWorld. I grew up in New York, so I went to the Bronx Zoo.
Grew up on a lake with horses. We'd swim the horses.
I grew up around the ocean.
I came from the middle of the country in Flatland, Kansas.
I'm from Virginia. Traveled down, did the theme park thing in Orlando when I was 17. And saw the night show at Shamu Stadium. Very emotional, popular music, and I was just, I was very driven to want to do that.
Then I saw what the trainers did, and I said, that's what I want to do.
One of the trainers there, he goes, what are you doing out there? You should be a trainer. I go, I don't know how to train animals. I've never trained animals in my life.
How do you prepare yourself for an encounter with an 8,000-pound Orcinus orca?
I always thought you needed a master's degree in marine biology to be a trainer.
It takes years of study and experience to meet the strict requirements necessary to interact in the water with Shamu.
Come to find out, it really is more about your personality and how good you can swim.
I went and tried out, got the job right away. And I was like, yeah, I was so excited, I was so excited.
I really wanted to be there. I really wanted to do the job. I couldn't wait to get in the water with the animals. I really was proud of being a SeaWorld trainer. I thought this was the most amazing job.
I showed up there on my first day, not really knowing what to expect. I was told to put on a wetsuit and get in the water. Hi, Mom! Oh, I was scared out of my wits.
First of all, I put my wetsuit on backwards because I was raised on a farm in Virginia. Hi, Dan! My first thought and memory of that time was that dolphins are a lot bigger than they look when you get in the water next to them.
Well, I watched this Sea Lion and Otter show, and this guy, Mike Morocco, he comes out during the show with a dress on, as Dorky, the alter ego of Dorothy, in a dress with a sea lion, the coward sea lion, right? And he's walking along with this little basket, and I go, I will never, ever do that, you know? 2 months later, hi, I'm Dorky. Walking out on stage with the sea lion.
I was overwhelmed and I was so excited. I mean, just seeing a killer whale is breathtaking.
I was just in awe. It's shocking to see how large they are and how beautiful they are.
Being, in the presence of the killer whales was just inspiring and amazing. And I remember seeing them for the first time, just not being able to believe how huge they were. You're there because you want to train killer whales, and that's your goal. I didn't know it was going to happen, so I wasn't expecting it. And one day they say, okay, Sam, you're ready to go.
Come on, you got it?
You're going to stand on the whale. You're going to dive off the whale. The whale's going to swim under you and pick you up again. And then you're going to do a perimeter ride around the pool.
Good. Keep moving. Right in full slide out.
They just told me to go do it, and I did it. Wow, I just rode a killer whale.
You did it, girlie.
When you look into their eyes, you know somebody is home. Somebody's looking back. You form a very personal relationship with your animal.
There's something absolutely amazing about working with an animal. You are a team. And you build a relationship together, and you both understand the goal, and you help each other.
I've been with this whale since I was 18 years old, and I've seen her have all 4 babies. We've grown up together.
That's the joy I got out of it, is a relationship like I've never had.
Bro, I have to know, are you nervous?
I'm scared.
No.
Nice hair, Jeff.
Projection for the future
of Jeff Fenton.
Jeff Fenton is going to go over there. He's going to shine. You're going to notice all
Don? Oh, that's Don.
Wow.
He's going to be my supervisor one day. There you go.
I knew Dawn when she was new. She was a great person to work with, and she obviously blossomed into one of SeaWorld's best trainers.
This is Dawn Brancho. Dawn is the senior trainer here at Shamu Stadium.
I guess you could say I kind of knew Dawn in a past life.
It's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah, we really do go through a lot of physical exertion. You can see in the show, we do a lot of deep water work, breath holds, very high energy behaviors with the animals. Obviously, they're giving out a lot of energy too, but we're working together and having a lot of fun as well.
She's beautiful, she's blonde, she's athletic, she's friendly. Everybody loves Dawn.
And I mean this so sincerely. Of watching you perform yesterday, you're amazing. Thank you. You really are.
She captured what it means to be a SeaWorld trainer. She had so much experience that it made me realize what happened to her really could have happened to anyone.
This is Detective Rivera with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Today's date is February 24th, 2010. The time is 4:16. In the room with me right now is Thomas George Tobin. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you see any blood in the water or anything like that?
Well, that's part of it. She was scalped and there was no blood.
Okay.
So pretty much we knew then that the heart wasn't beating.
Once they were able to pull her away, how did he let go of the...
He didn't.
He never let go of the
arm?
The arm.
He swallowed it.
He swallowed it? So the arm was nowhere.
Right.
OSHA, on behalf of the federal government, is basically suggesting that swimming with orcas is inherently dangerous and that you can't completely predict the outcome when you enter the water or enter their environment.
That's the crux of the OSHA case. Stay out of proximity with the animals and you won't get killed.
It will have a ripple effect through the whole industry. This was national headline news.
SeaWorld's whale performances may never be the same.
Right now, the theme park is arguing in court to keep whale trainers in the water, something OSHA says is extremely dangerous.
These are wild animals, and they are unpredictable because we don't speak whale. We don't speak whale, we don't speak tiger, we don't speak monkey.
And tempers flared between the two sides today when OSHA's attorney suggested that SeaWorld only made changes after trainer Don Brancho's death outraged the public.
OSHA doesn't want the trainers going back in the water without a physical barrier between them and the whales.
Being in close proximity to these top predators is too dangerous.
They won't then be getting in the water, riding on the whales, things like that.
If you were in a bathtub for 25 years, don't you think you'd get a little irritated, aggravated, maybe a little psychotic?
The situation with Don Brancho, it didn't just happen. It's not a singular event. You have to go back over 20 years to understand this.
It was a really exciting thing to do, and so everybody wanted to do it.
What were they telling you were going to do?
Capture orcas.
They had aircraft, they had spotters, they had speedboats, they had bombs they were throwing in the water. They were lighting their bombs with acetylene torches in their boats and throwing them as fast as they could to herd the whales into coves. But the orcas had been caught before, and they knew what was going on, and they knew their young ones would be taken from them. So the adults without young went east into a cul-de-sac, and the boats followed them, thinking they were all going that way, while the mothers with babies went north. But the capture teams had aircraft, and they have to come up for air eventually, and when they did, capture teams alerted the boats and said, oh no, they're going north, the ones with babies. So the boats, the speedboats, caught them there and herded them in. And then they had fishing boats with seine nets that they would stretch across so none could leave, and then they could just pick out the young ones.
You're only after the little ones. And the little one is, a big animal still, but I was told because of shipping costs, that's why they only take the little ones.
They had the young ones that they wanted in the corrals, so they dropped the seine nets, and all the others could have left, but they stayed.
Where they're trying to get the young orca in the stretcher, and the whole family is out here 25 yards away maybe in a big line, and they're communicating back and forth. Well, you understand then what you're doing, I lost it. I mean, I started crying. I didn't stop working, but I just couldn't handle it. And just like kidnapping a little kid away from her mother. Everybody's watching. What can you do? It's the worst thing I can think of. I can't think of anything worse than that. Now, this really sounds bad, but when the whole hunt was over, there were 3 dead whales in the net. And so they had Peter and Brian and I cut the whales open, fill them with rocks, and put anchors on their tail and sink them. Well, really, I didn't even think about it being illegal at that point. I thought it was a PR thing.
They were finally ejected from the state of Washington by a court order in 1976. It was SeaWorld by name that was told, do not come back to Washington to capture whales. Without missing a beat, they went from Washington to Iceland. and began capturing there.
I've been part of a revolution to change of presidents in Central and South America and seen some things that it's hard to believe, but this is the worst thing that I've ever done, is hunt that whale.
Sealand has been a part of Victoria for over 20 years. We specialize in the care and display of killer whales.
By the time I started, when he was 4, he was up to 16 feet long and weighed 4,000 pounds.
I had actually seen Tilikum quite a number of times. He was right across the strait here in Victoria. All Sealand was a net hanging in a marina with a float around it.
Tilikum was the one we really loved to work with. He was very well behaved, and he was always eager to please.
When he was first introduced, everything just went fine and dandy, but the previous head trainer used techniques that involved punishment. He would team a trained orca up with Tilikum, who was untrained. He would send them both off to do the same behavior. If Tilikum didn't do it, then both animals were punished. Deprived of food to keep them hungry. This caused a lot of frustration with the larger animal, the established animal, and would in turn get frustrated with Tilikum and would rake him with his